What's happening, everybody? Today is March 6th, 2015. I'm not really going to enjoy this shave too much. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. I don't quite know why I'm even doing this in the first place, but I guess let's just get this show on the road. Today's brush is going to be a Morrison forndran 2XL blonde. Yeah. Today's soap. Today's soap is going to be Barrister and Mann Arctique. Let's go ahead and get this established. I am not one of those menthol people by any stretch of the imagination. Menthol, not really my friend. I don't quite know why I decided I wanted to do this earlier in the week. So, yeah, I just decided that actually, you know what? I just decided that I was going to do it. I don't know that I wanted to do it is really the most accurate way to word it, but whatever. And I can smell the cold already. Let me get this joint loaded, and I'll introduce the rest of the cast. We got some fights to talk about today. Wow, I took a lot of water out of this brush because, well, I don't know. That looks half decent, I suppose. We'll put a little bit more in there. Hopefully loading it heavier will make it not as cold. I don't know, that really doesn't make any sense. Alright, there we go. Today's razor is going to be a blackland blackbird. In here is an Israeli personna, the red one. Platinum, I think is what they call them. Or platinum chrome, actually, is more like it, I think. So here we go. Again, like I said, menthol, not really my thing. Oh, that's cold. And this is going to be mainly for you guys just to have a laugh, a cheap laugh on my expense. Like I said, menthol is not really my thing at all. And I'm going to be using cold water as much as possible in this shave to further ratchet up the suck. I had more stubble than I thought I did today. Also, the weather's starting to get nice, which means that the top of my head is peeling. Excuse me. Oh man, that's cold already. Actually, it's not mega cold. I can definitely feel the menthol. This is going to be coming back in June, I think it is. You can look on the Barrister and Mann releases page and you'll find the information for it. This brush, I was actually thinking about, never mind, I had it out there for sale, actually for trade. Nobody had one. I was looking for a 2XL in fan, finest or blonde, but nobody had one that they wanted to trade, because this is a very bulby shaped knot, which, you know, not really my favorite, but oh man, that's cold. It's not really my favorite, but whatever. I'm keeping it. But if you do have a 2XL fan-shaped finest or blonde that you want to trade, hit me. Maybe I'll reconsider that. Here we go. If you've never used one of these razors, they're efficient. They don't mess around. I don't remember the numbers, but what makes this razor do its thing in the manner that it does is it's all blade gap. Blade exposure. I don't remember the blade gap being particularly wide. But yeah, this razor actually is pretty efficient. Something that I was not expecting, given the design. Something that I wasn't expecting, I should say, given the design, is this thing holds the blade very rigidly. And it has that same really solid feel that a Wolfman does. A Wolfman really locks in the blade like this. This one does not really. It doesn't clamp the blade down like that. But yeah, somehow or another, it still has a very rigid blade feel. And this razor actually is being sent out tomorrow to Blackland so they can smooth out the corners. And I originally wanted, or he's doing a thing where he'll polish the razor for you for like 20 bucks plus shipping. I was originally going to get it polished, but I'm going to see if I can get it like in a matte or brushed finish, because I do prefer those. So Shane, this one's coming back to you, buddy. It'll be back. It'll be on its way tomorrow, I should say. Okay, so I told you that we've got some fights to talk about, and we've got some fights to talk about. Last night with UFC 196, co-main event was Miesha Tate challenging Holly Holm for Holmes's women's bantamweight champion, 135. Yeah. And the main event was I don't even want to call it a welterweight fight. I think catchweight probably, or whatever, welterweight, because they weighed in or right at the welterweight limit. Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor. Yeah. So the co-main event first. I personally, I think I may have got myself right there. Yep, sure did. I personally thought that this was going to be a tougher matchup for Holm than Rousey was, because Rousey just seemed like a front runner, meaning that she doesn't really seem like the type that I don't know. She just didn't seem like the kind that can come back. Got myself behind the ear too. Anyway, so yeah, I thought that Tate was going to be a tougher matchup than Rousey was, and I was right. Although the fight was not easy at all for Tate. To be completely honest, Holm won. Going into the 5th round, Holm won rounds 1, 3, and 4. Tate won round 2. The judges gave Tate, actually, all 3 judges gave Tate a 10-8 on that round, and I don't really agree with that. But whatever, I'm not a judge, so it doesn't matter. So, in the 5th round, kind of business as normal. Holm was winning that round. I gotta put some water on this, and this is gonna suck. So 1 second. And again, I'm gonna be using cold water. This water just looks like it's gonna suck. Whew. It's bracing. Yeah, so, 5th round, more of the same. Tate was not winning. Holm was until now. The reason that Miesha Tate was able to win that second round is because she was able to get Holly Holm down, keep her on the ground, and really threaten to finish the fight via choke. So again, you know, more of the same in the fifth round until Miesha was able to shoot a takedown and get Holm on the ground. Once Holm, Holm actually was able to scramble, and she was really close to getting up and putting the fight back on the feet, which is where, you know, she crushes pretty much most people. But Tate was able to stay on her back, I should say, because she took her back, and she sunk in a rear naked choke. And that rear naked choke was very much, it was there. Holm flipped her forward. Tate did not let go of that choke. And she ended up putting Holm to sleep. Now, for those of you that watched the fight, I really do like Holly Holm. Actually, I like Holly Holm and Miesha Tate both a lot. Holly Holm did not tap. She went to sleep. And the last thing she did before she went to sleep, she actually threw a 3-punch combination. I thought it was badass personally. Wow, that's really cold. Yeah, I thought it was badass personally. So yeah, Tate won the championship, which of course you know that means that Ronda Rousey, since she's beaten Miesha Tate, I absolutely think that she's going to be coming back to try to, you know, to fight for that title. Moving on to the main event. First of all, the weight. You know, they both weighed in. I think McGregor came in at 168. Diaz came in at 169. The welterweight limit for a championship fight is 170. So it was contested at 170. Now here's the thing, is that neither man had, they didn't cut weight. Because the fight had to be put together on short notice, so they didn't cut weight. For those of you that don't know, cutting weight means pretty much dehydrating yourself to get rid of water in the body to try to come in as light as possible 24 hours before, you know, the day before the event. So they didn't have time to cut, which, you know, even though they weighed 168 or 169 pounds, they were fighting. That's what they would have came in at pretty much if they would have cut, and it'd have been if they would have cut weight for a lightweight fight. So that fight was actually a lightweight fight. McGregor won the first round. He was looking good in that first round until Nate got his footing. Dude, my mustache is so cold right now. Nate got his footing. He got his footing like towards the end of the first round. And yeah. A lot of McGregor fans will point out that it looked like McGregor was actually holding his own on the ground versus Diaz at the end of the first round. I beg to differ, because by the time There was probably about, I think it was about 30 or 40 seconds left in the round when the fight went to the floor. And there was a scramble. McGregor ended up on top for a bit. And then Diaz went for a leg, and by the time that the bell rang, Diaz was in position for a knee bar. If you're able to watch the fight again, take a look at that. And you may have missed it, you know, while the fight was going on, because you were probably jumping around yelling or whatever. Neck is very, very cold right now. So yeah, he was in position for a knee bar. Second round comes around. First 3 minutes or so, Diaz is a slow starter. Both Diaz's, him and Nate, are both slow starters. Nate started getting his swing. And Nate did what Nate did what the Diaz brothers do. If you've never seen one of the Diaz brothers fights, you may think that their punches really don't have anything on them. But here's the thing: is that they always end up landing. They always end up landing that one or that 1-2. Actually, let me pause this. And I'll be right back. Right. So they always end up landing that 1 or 2, that little 1-2, and it really stuns the other guy. And by then, it's pretty much too late. You have to really prevent them from landing that 1-2, because if it happens, then you probably are going to be buried by the avalanche that is the Diaz brothers. So Nate was having his way. He even slapped him in the face 4 times, like open hand. Bah! It was hilarious. So yeah, he boxed him up. He tuned him up, man. He really did. And McGregor turned into a panic wrestler and tried to take Diaz down. Let's think about this for a second. Nate Diaz has a black belt from Cesar Gracie. If I remember correctly, Cesar Gracie has given out less than 10 black belts, and I think it's probably around 6 or 7. So he really hasn't given out very many black belts. That means it's not easy to get one. So Conor McGregor was dazed, okay? He was dazed. He shot in for a takedown. If you're dazed, the last place that you want to be, actually, the last place you want to be is on the ground with one of the Diaz brothers, if you're dazed. But the thing is that being on the feet is not really the best place to be either. Unless you're a really smothering wrestler that are able to just hold them down in place, which again is easier said than done, then you probably are in for a ride. Let me cleanse here. You're not where you want to be if you're dazed on the ground with a Diaz brother, unless you're a wrestler. Conor McGregor is not a wrestler. Generally speaking, Europeans are not going to be your best wrestlers. They can be decent grapplers, but wrestlers, probably not. That's cold. So yeah. He tried to, what did McGregor try to do? He tried to shrimp out, but Diaz actually hooked one of his arms and gave him one in the joint and like mounted him, and he started hitting him a couple times. McGregor then gave him his back. McGregor gave his back to somebody who has average at best ground and pound. but phenomenal jiu-jitsu. He was looking for a way out. He got his way out because Diaz sunk in a rear naked choke. Today's aftershave is going to be rough as well. So yeah, he was looking for a way out. Nate gave it to him. And here's what I took away from the main event and the co-main event. McGregor tapped really fast too, by the way. I think that choke was in for about 5 or 6 seconds. Now that 5 or 6 seconds from the Cesar Gracie black belt rear naked choke is definitely not the pleasant thing to endure. But again, Holly Holm never tapped. Holly Holm went out throwing punches. Conor McGregor tapped. And he was talking about how he was going to dismantle Nate Diaz on the ground. Talking about taking him down, crushing his hips, and submitting him. Come on, dude. You gotta be kidding. This aftershave really is what makes this suck. My face right now hurts so bad, and my neck is very cold. And so yeah, he was looking for a way out of that fight. Nate Diaz gave it to him, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. So now McGregor looks like he's probably gonna have to fight Frankie Edgar at 145, and then Aldo's waiting in the wings, and you've got a tough road ahead of you, McGregor. I'm in real pain right now. I actually have to go to the store, but it's probably going to be like an hour or so until I can actually leave the house. Anyways, I hope you guys have been well. Please keep me in your thoughts. Like I said, I've got some big stuff coming up over the next few months, and I'm really looking forward to be able to giving you guys an update. Okay, I've got to get away from you guys. Peace.